Hi there, it's Rosanne here from Chic Paint. I don't know about you, but when I start a project, I like getting it done quickly. It can be very tempting to slap your paint on in thick layers, thinking that will speed things up. However, in this video, I'm going to show you why that's not a good idea. Keep watching to find out why 2 thin coats are better than 1 thick coat. Today I'm going to paint this cute little half moon table with our all-in-one decor paint in the color Icicle. Since it's a dark wood and this is such a light color, it might take a couple of coats to get fully opaque coverage. I know it seems more satisfying to try and get it all done quickly in one single coat, but that can lead to problems in the end, and your finish will likely not be very durable. The thicker your paint coat is, the longer it takes to dry, and the more chance it will have of crackling. It will also not adhere as well to your piece. Since we all want our pieces to last, I would highly recommend you to paint thinner rather than thicker coats. When you apply paint in thin layers, it will dry much more quickly and it will stick better to your project. I'm going to show you what a thin coat of paint looks like by using this sponge. You can also use a paintbrush to paint thin coats. However, I find it easier to paint thin coats with a sponge like this. What I'm going to do is make sure that this paint is well mixed together, so I'm give it a good shake, and I'm also gonna stir it to make sure everything's mixed well together. To make it easier to get my paint on my sponge, I'm gonna pour some off on this plate. So you always want to make sure that your piece is cleaned before you start painting, because if there's contaminants on your piece, it's not going to stick very well. I'm just going to start by painting the bottom. And actually, I forgot to put my glove on. You don't have to wear a glove, but your hand will get pretty messy if you are using a sponge like this, so it just makes it easier. Now that I've applied my first thin coat of paint, I'm going to let it cure before I move on to the next coat. The piece is now ready for the second coat. Since my first coat was thin, it has dried quickly and adhered well to my project. If you paint a second coat on top of a thick coat that hasn't fully dried, it can lead to peeling, cracking, and frustration. That's why it's much better to do a couple of thin coats instead of thick coats. Now that our half moon table has fully dried, I'm going to be using a 120 grit sanding block to distress this piece. You want to make sure that you wait about an hour before you distress, depending on the temperature that you're working in, of course. If it's colder, you want to wait a little bit longer than that. So there we go. This table is now distressed and ready for waxing, which I will show you in a different video. If you liked this video, please leave us a comment and click the like button. We also encourage you to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any upcoming tutorials. To find out more about our products and where you can buy them, click the website link on your screen now or in the description below this video. Thank you so much for watching and happy painting!